Okay, 60 seconds to go through the entire first 2 seasons of The Fakist, and I'm in a hot car, windows rolled up, no air conditioning, in Orlando, Florida, so I better hurry. Okay, so here we go. So there's the show called The Fakist. It's a show that purports to be a news show, but is actually devoted to making shit up. It's hosted by a guy named Paul Defoe, who I play, who's a son of privilege. Everything's always kind of gone right for him. When our story begins, Leanne Snyder leaves her job in a small town TV station to come work in the big city as the executive producer in charge of production for Paul. The first day on the job, something terrible happens. Paul's girlfriend breaks up with him on the air. It's this huge faux pas, and it crushes Paul's very overinflated but very fragile ego. So Paul goes through a lot of emotional turmoil in the first season, making a lot of bad decisions, selfish decisions, which eventually results in the death of his best friend, Birdman Stan, the helicopter pilot for The Fakist. Now, after being confronted by Leanne and some other members of the Fakist News crew, Paul fucks off to a karate sabbatical and says, screw it, I'm not doing the fake news anymore. Leanne really believes in the show, so she takes over the broadcast for Paul while he's gone. Now, while he's on the Christmas sabbatical, he gets visited by 3 Christmas ghosts in a story that's nothing at all like A Christmas Carol, and decides to go back to somewhere west of New York City and set right what once went wrong. So he does so, but as he's sort of repairing all these relationships with all of his co-workers, he makes a startling discovery. A member of the Fakist Faithful Facebook fan page lets him know that his biological father, Montepere Defoe, isn't actually his real dad. And that his real dad is this guy named Jim, who's been working as a janitor at the Fakist for years. Now, while all this is going on, Deborah Dawnstar, this multi-level scammer, is setting a trap for Paul Defoe and the Fakist News crew to completely destroy the show. Now, because Paul spent the entire season rallying his friends, he was able to easily take on Grimace from McDonald's, Deborah Dawnstar, and a ton of other characters who I can't really remember right now. So, season's over, everyone's won, it's awesome. Well, Paul's dad, Janitor Jim, died, but it's not that big of a deal. And he gets a phone call from Bertram KCOM, who owns KCOM Studios. And it's getting hot. So he gets this call from Bertram KCOM, and Bertram KCOM's like, okay, you got 2 months to save the show. You got to get new sponsors, you got to improve the show, or the show's done. And Paul, sort of, as he's wont to do, sort of retreats into himself and goes and sings some karaoke about it.
The nights are lonely, the days will be sad, well.
And that's where we pick up in season 3. Now, if you don't mind, it's getting really, really hot here, and I really gotta go. I'm okay.